Name a billionaire that isn't completely detached from reality. Exactly. Buckle up. This is the only tier list that matters. Today we're ranking those billionaires that make you want to scream into a pillow. So, how does it work? Well, S tier, somehow not a walking red flag. F tier, please never give this person power again. Okay? That's our ranking. Let's get into it. Alright, we've got all our people down here, and yeah, let's get into it. And if any of these guys sue me, guys, it's okay. Discovery will be hilarious. So, okay, let's start with Elon.
Does this video prove that Elon Musk was high in front of President Trump?
Where are we going to put Elon? Alright, so he bought Twitter for $44 billion, renamed it to X, lost 70% of its value, still calls it a win. Promised self-driving cars in 2016, it's 2025, still crashes into fire trucks and ambulances. Cool. Said would have 1 million robot taxis by 2020, we have 0. We have exploding Cybertrucks instead. Mars colony by 2024, delayed to this century maybe. Bro can't even keep a launch window. Turned verification into an $8 ego badge. Platform now runs crypto scams. Literally tweets memes while his company gets sued by the SEC, DOJ, and half the state of California. Has 12 kids with 4 women. Names them after Wi-Fi passwords. That should give him a boost. Yeah, he does. He belongs in F tier, guys. Come on, let's be real.
That was something. I am become meme. Yeah, pretty much. I'm living the meme. It's like there's living the dream and there's living the meme, and it's pretty much what's happening, you know. You're like.
Alright, next we have Peter Thiel. Alright, so Peter Thiel, the co-founder of PayPal, then decided democracy was overrated.
You would prefer the human race to endure, right? You're hesitating.
Yeah, well,
Yes?
I don't know. I would.
Here's a quote. I no longer believe freedom and democracy are compatible. Funds young blood transfusions through a company called Ambrosia. They charge $8,000 a litre. Palantir tricks immigrants, predicts crime, and has contacts with literally every 3-letter agency. Wants sea trading, floating cities with no laws because taxes are theft apparently. Bankrolled the lawsuit that killed Gawker because they outed him. Openly funds neo-reactionary bloggers who write 10,000-word essays about bringing back kings. So my verdict for him would probably be F tier. Probably F tier, yeah. This guy's like Darth Vader if he shopped at Patagonia and majored in philosophy. I mean, he likes Lord of the Rings, so yeah, that's good.
I would.
This is a long hesitation.
There's so many questions implicit
Should
in this.
the human race survive?
All right, next up we got Jeff Bezos, everyone's favorite slave driver at Amazon. Amazon warehouse workers pee in bottles and collapse from heat stroke. This is confirmed by their own internal documents. Could solve world hunger for $300 billion, and still could be a billionaire. He bought a $500 million yacht that has its own yacht. I mean, that's kind of ballin'. Flew to space, saw Earth, came back, said it was fragile. Divorced, immediately started dating a woman who looks like a Bond villain. Got blackmailed with dick pics by the National Enquirer, which he then doxed. Owns Washington Post, but still lets Amazon run union-busting seminars called How We Scare Your Employees. Alright, so yeah, he's kind of like a low-tier Lex Luthor if he skipped leg day for 50 years, then discovered steroids. So we'll put him in an F. Alright, next up we got Zuck. The Zuckbot. Zuckbot 9000.
But it is going to bother you because you're human, and I was human. I am human, still. But I was just referring to myself in the past. Not that I was not human.
Now, this guy is kind of more weirdly creepy instead of evil, but yeah, let's get into it. Looks like he was designed in a lab and failed the Turing test. Spent $50 billion on the metaverse. Still no legs in 2025. People still use it less than Second Life. Bought 1,500 acres in Hawaii. Built a wall. Locals now call it Zuck's Bunker. Grilled a goat himself. Served it rare. Posted it like a serial killer. Testifies in front of Congress and blinked 0 times in 10 minutes. Like, that's kind of an achievement. His own sister wrote a song called I Don't Want to Be Your Friend Anymore, which is about him. He's not evil, just the physical manifestation of a terms of service agreement. So, like, again, like, let's put him in E, because, like, he's not completely evil, but he's strangely still probably evil.
Hi, Mark.
Artistic and creative director.
Alright, so we're moving on to Rupert Murdoch.
I will name 3 historical figures. You put them in order of the heinousness of their betrayal. Round 2. Leonard Hofstadter, Darth Vader, Rupert Murdoch.
Rupert Murdoch?
He owns Fox, and they canceled Firefly. Hint, he and Darth Vader are tied for number 2.
He controls more news than any human in history. Fox, Sky, Wall Street Journal, New York Post, The Sun, most of the fucking publications in Australia, if not all of them, and probably a lot around the world. This guy's an information powerhouse. Fox News paid $787 million for lying about voting machines and kept the same hosts. He had a phone hacking scandal where his papers hacked a murderous girl's voicemail and deleted messages to keep the story running. Personally killed the UK's biggest newspaper because it exposed his crimes. At 94, he's marrying women younger than his kids. So my verdict would probably be, again, F tier. One man who decides what 100 million boomers believe every morning, and that's actual power.
Do you like the feeling of power you have as a newspaper proprietor, of being able to sort of formulate policies for a large number of newspapers in every state of Australia?
Well, there's only one honest answer to that, of course, and that's yes. Of course one enjoys the feeling of power. If a newspaper can create great controversies, stir up arguments within the community, discussion, can throw light on injustices, just as it can do the opposite. It can hide things and be a great power for evil. It's not a perfect system, obviously.
Alright, and that brings us to the Saudi royal family. Alright, where are these guys going to go?
Someone said to me that when you look at the richest men in the world, like they look at like Warren Buffett and Bill Gates, that they're not really the richest men in the world. That the real richest men in the world are these Saudi guys.
Yep.
And a lot of these oil guys, but they're monarchs.
Alright, so they're worth trillions. Once chopped up a journalist, maybe even twice, with a bone saw. Amazing. Still execute people in 2025 for witchcraft. Bought Newcastle United to sports watch murder. Alright, so my verdict's probably F again. Actual monarchs who act like cartoon villains and get invited to state dinners.
And they don't have to disclose their wealth.
They never do. Yeah.
It's not like they're the CEO of a corporation.
No.
They're head of a royal family.
They owe no government any indication of what their earnings are.
Alright, next up we have Bill Gates. Bill!
When you met him 10 years ago, he was convicted of soliciting prostitution from minors. What did you know about him when you were meeting with him, as you've said yourself, in the hopes of raising money?
You know, I had dinners with him. I regret doing that.
You continue to meet with him over several years, and that, in other words, a number of meetings. What did you do when you found out about his background? Is there a lesson for you, for anyone else looking at this?
Well, he's dead, so, you know, in general, you always have to be careful.
Divorced after the Epstein photos dropped, still won't fully explain. Owns more farmland than anyone in America. Funds gain of function research, then acts shocked when the lab leaks. Still the least harmful one here. That's how bad this is, so probably C, maybe. He's just a rich nerd that just pretends to care.
This guy is so bad. He's been caught all over the world putting bioweapons into so-called vaccines, doing illegal testing on kids, financing the creation of COVID-19, weaponized live polio vaccines, causing millions of deaths.
All right, moving on to Warren Buffett. All right, so...
What's in your wallet right now?
I'd say about probably $400 or $500.
$400 or $500
like that,
in
yeah.
cash.
I generally carry something like that.
In
yeah.
20s or 50s or hundreds?
Well, I've got a few hundred.
I want to see. Let's see.
You want to see? Okay.
Yes,
sure.
I do.
Yeah, well, most women do. You're not unusual.
Warren, he eats McDonald's every day, lives in the same house, gives money away, but still hoards $140 billion while he's preaching tax the rich. His best friend is Charlie Munger, who said poor people should suck it up. Verdict for him is probably like a C+, to be honest. Like he's like a grandpa who's slightly less hypocritical than the others, you know? So maybe a C+ for him. Just a little bit above old mate over here. Alright, up next, Oprah.
Out of singing, wait.
You get a car, you get a car, you get a car. Alright, so still the highest probably on the list, like let's be real. Gives away cars, launched Obama, built schools in Africa. So most of that's pretty good. Also told broke people to buy $800 candles to manifest abundance. I don't know, I'd probably put her in B, because this is like a dumpster fire of a fucking list. She's basically like an off-brand Jesus with a private jet, so we'll put her in B. Like she can go to the top.
Dance, choreographing the dance. You were up all night dancing.
Alright, so that brings us to Gina Reinhardt. Now, some of you guys won't know who she is. She's Australia's richest person and the only woman on the Forbes top 20 who isn't Oprah.
John Hancock is locked in a bitter fight with the world's richest woman, his mother, Gina Reinhardt. At stake is access to a massive family trust.
Net worth, $30 billion, all from iron ore, aka digging up our land and selling it to China. She inherited the company from her dad, then spent decades suing her own kids so they wouldn't get a single rusty shovel of it, demanded Australian workers stop whining and work for $2 a day like the people in Africa. That's a direct quote, by the way. Paid zero corporate tax for years while crying that the poor are too entitled. Published books of her own poetry. Yes, it's exactly as bad as you think it is. Here's a sample line. Global warming is a communist plot to ruin mining profits. Face looks like it was photoshopped by someone who's never seen a human woman before. Once painted a portrait of herself as a goddess and hung it in a public gallery so everyone has to look at it forever. Okay, so my tier for her is probably F. Alright, let's go F. The only female on this list mean enough to make the men on this list look polite. If Evil had a monthly beauty subscription, she'd be the founder and the sole subscriber.
Is why he and two of his sisters are pursuing their mother in court.
There's very little other choice for me at the moment, so I think when your back's up against the wall, you just have to come out fighting.
Alright, that brings us to Jimmy Beast, Mr. Donaldson. Mr. Donaldson Beast.
I have a challenge. I recreated every single. This is one of the dirtiest. This is the most expensive. I just bought that private. This is the largest slice of pizza.
1 billion plus at 27 and somehow has the soul of a customer service chatbot that learned emotions from YouTube analytics. Gives away millions, but only if 50 million people watch him do it. Charity with a view count KPI. Build an entire economy where his friends are contractually obliged to act like human piñatas 24/7. Made a real-life Squid Game for 3.5 million and took a sponsorship from a crypto coin that, you guessed it, immediately rugged everyone. Employees leak stories about 90-hour work weeks, NDAs thicker than the Bible, panic attacks in the parking lot, but hey, at least you get free Feastables. Literally said in an interview, I will not stop until I'm the most famous person who has ever lived. That's not ambition, that's a demon core quote. His eyes don't blink anymore. Science can't really explain it. The verdict is probably like E tier. He's not evil, he's just the final proof that YouTube ate someone's soul and turned them into the perfect algorithm-friendly content. Though he may have no soul.
I wish I'd keep this off camera, but you guys have exposed me in the past, you know, and I thought I'd just show my true self on the Tiny Meat Gang.
So you really are evil Mr. B.
Oh, 100%. Oh, fuck poor people.
Alright, that brings us to Eddie Craven, my old boss, before I quit streaming, because there's no money in streaming, guys. Not even if Eddie's giving you billions, because he won't.
This company emerged recently, it's called Kick.
and it was founded by Ed Craven and this other guy. They built a crypto gambling business in Australia, stake.com, and now they're using Kick as a marketing funnel for the casino, but they're throwing off hundreds of millions into this. They're doing F1 sponsorships, and they just signed XQC recently for, I think, 70 million or 100 million over 2 years.
The 29-year-old Australian crypto wonder kid behind stake.com, the world's biggest online casino that's basically roulette with Bitcoin, and Kick, the streaming site that is Twitch, but with fewer rules and more degeneracy. Net worth $2.8 billion in 2025, making him the second youngest self-made billionaire in Forbes. Started as a teen betting on bingo, cruises, and coding gaming bots. Kind of impressive until you zoom in. Turned Stake into a $4.7 billion revenue machine last year, but it's banned in the UK, US, and most of Europe for being a shady social casino that preys on addicts. Got sued in California in April for illegally operating there. Launched Kick to compete with Twitch after they banned stake ads for lacking consumer protections. Gives off peak LinkedIn energy. Does performative tweets about disrupting the system while laying off staff at EasyGo. Lives in an $88 million mansion in Melbourne, collects high-end cars, and funnels cash into philanthropy, but only after the scandals. Basically the guy who'd TED Talk you into hustle culture from a yacht he bought with gambling profits. This guy's probably a D tier. Let's be real, D. Not the worst. He's too young and chaotic to be a full villain yet, but give him a decade and he'll be Theo 2.0, minus the blood transfusions, let's hope. He's just a billionaire who turned addiction into an app and calls it innovation. Youngest Aussie billionaire, and the only person on this list that I've actually met personally. Shook his hand. D-list. Eddie's the kind of guy that would lead you on to think you're going to get some kind of streaming money. When you stream on his platform for years and years and years and get no recognition or no profit or pay from him. You might get it from your subs, but you won't get it from Kick or anyone else unless you can promote their gambling.
Let's take a little look at the owners of Kick, real big ballers, Ed Craven and Bijan Tehrani, two guys who met playing RuneScape. Yes, RuneScape.
And that leaves us last with the quiet ones. So the quiet ones are like the Walmart heirs, the Mars Candy family, etc. Ones that we don't really know much about, You don't know their names because they're smart enough to stay out of the spotlight while they ruin everything. We'll put them in D for invisible puppeteers. And there's our list. This is your periodic reminder that 8 men own more wealth than the bottom 4 billion people combined. And we let them cosplay as gods because, well, rockets go brrrr. If this video disappears tomorrow, you know why. Smash that like button so the algorithm can't bury it. Drop your most hated billionaire in the comments. Top comment gets pinned. And look, if any of these low tier legends are watching this and want a sudden miraculous bump to S tier, well, my DMs are open. PayPal, wire, transfer preferred, price list in bio. Rankings are like Twitter verification, completely meaningless and totally flexible for the right price. Alright guys, see you in the next one unless Peter Thiel's blood drones get me first.